Hey guys, just wanted to share a deck that I've been having some success with recently, including going 4-0 with a local tournament, with 3 of those coming against purple Kaido decks. The tournament wasn't deck limited, so all OP1 cards were available. I think the best thing about this deck is that you don't need any boosters, just 2 blue starter decks and you're good to go. This is my version of a more aggressive blue Crocodile deck, as opposed to the controlled versions you typically see floating around, as I do find that Kaido decks tend to be a trickier matchup for controlled Crocodiles, as a lot of their cards sit just outside of bounce range, and Purple Kaido is one of the most popular decks being played right now, especially in OP1. I run 4 copies of every card except for Sables, which I only run 2 of. The goal here is to start the game very aggressively and maintain that early pressure and tempo with cards such as Teach and Thrust Pad Cannon to help you get that extra hit or 2 on the enemy leader, or at the very least get some very favorable trades and really try to make sure that the Kaido player never gets a chance to settle in and stabilize. If you get to choose, try to go first, since that does give you the initiative and saves you a turn against Onigashima as well. It's important to swing at their leader early and often and not worry too much about your life total, as you are looking to be the aggressor here and trying to avoid a protracted game. First off, of course, we have the leader, Crocodile, who allows you to bounce back any character that costs 4 less Dawn. Really in line with what we're trying to do here. Once again, to that mid game, don't forget to utilize his ability. No need to be too stingy with it, especially since this deck does have a fairly low curve. Next we have the 7 cost Doflamingo. On top of being a big 7,000 body that they just have to respect, his ability allows you to deal with the 5 cost blocker queens, which is usually a staple in Kaido decks, or any other large blocker or annoying card that may be out of reach for your Teacher Crocodile. I really like Senamaru in this matchup if you're able to get him down. He is a bit slow to use, so you may not necessarily get a chance to play him. You kind of have to play it by the ear, and if you think they're ramping quickly either with Onigashima or a few jacks, you might want to hold off on him and take a faster approach. If your opponent does not get that early Onigashima down, then Senamaru is a really great tool for applying pressure without trading in card advantage. More importantly, it allows you to keep up a constant threat without overextending and having your board wiped by 10 cost Kaido. If you get Senamaru down early enough and are able to protect him, he and the Pacifistas, I find especially once you get at least 2 down, are usually enough to cause some serious damage to Kaido. Next is Teach, which is a key card in this deck in matchup. He allows you to bounce back some annoying cards or low cost blockers early and really helps you get that extra 1 to 2 swings in the enemy leader that can sometimes be all the difference, or at the very least he lets you trade pretty well. Here we have Moria, Mihawk, and Weevil, which I'm very happy are at 5,000 attack. I think that 5,000 attack is a very good number for a card to have in this game. At 5,000, their presence on the board alone represents persistent pressure, since they can swing at the enemy leader unassisted. Moria lets you refill your hand, and I like to use him primarily to grab another Teach or Law, sometimes a Mihawk when I just need another body. Mihawk lets you cycle through your deck if you're looking for something specific. And Weevil, I find, is great, especially when you drop him on turn 2. He has a big body in the early game, and when he is dropped early enough, he usually manages to get an extra hit on their leader. Kuma's here just to provide a bit of consistency to the deck. We're not really after him for his body or board presence or anything. Law and Hancock are your standard low cost blockers. I use them mostly to protect my other cards. As I said before, I'm not too concerned with taking life damage in this matchup, and would rather use my blockers to protect higher priority cards. Thrust Pad Cannon is a nice card to use, even if it doesn't end up protecting one of your cards. You can bounce back one of their blockers late, essentially trading 1 for 1 and forcing your opponent to commit extra Dawn or be down a blocker. Level of Mellow is your standard counter used to protect your character, also helps you refill your hand a bit. Sables is useful when you need to get rid of a larger character but may not have the Dawn for Doflamingo. I only run 2 because having more than 1 in your hand will just end up clogging your hand, as it is a bit clunkier to use. The cards I left out are Buggy and Jinbei, which I think just don't provide enough power to cut it in this deck. And 5 cost Crocodile, because he is a bit slow, and as the aggressor, we're not really looking for a large blocker. I hope that some of you find my quick rundown helpful and find some success with it as well. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. See ya!